Audio Jungle.
Motion, and to say that even as we are speaking now, there are still some people who are under different guises traveling outside. So the brain drain is a big problem, not just in the educational sector, particularly in the health sector. It's affecting us a lot. The greatest professionals in medicine in United States of America, from what I read, some people say we have almost 22,000 health workers in the United States of America who are Nigerians, and they are doing extremely well. I've seen that from different reports. And as of today, the country is rather losing the expertise. If they acquired those expertise and returned to Nigeria, it would have been better. But I think also the conditions of service are quite responsible. But I believe people should place love for their country above financial gains. And that is why many of us chose to remain here. So I commend you for this. We will go straight into your prayers and hope that this will reduce, like he said, like Senator Ashiru said, it's a two-faced thing. It has its own advantages, it has its own disadvantages. But in the educational sector, the disadvantages are too numerous, because some of the departments do not have even up to 50% staff strength. So what then are you teaching our children? It's like computer, garbage in and garbage out. So, but we will do our best to improve the lot of teachers, professors, and the university management, so that it will encourage people to stay back and impact knowledge on our future generation. So thank you for bringing this motion. I thank my colleagues for their contributions. Prayer 1, mandate the Senate Committee on Tertiary Education and TED Fund to liaise with the Ministry of Education with a view to working out modalities to check the increasing spread of brain drain in the Nigerian universities. Those in support of prayer 1 say aye.
Amendment.
Amendment?
Amendment, sir.
You don't want...
For me, is urgent need to address the challenges of increasing cases of brain drain in the Nigerian university system. The Senate notes that brain drain, which is referred to as a large-scale movement or migration of top power from developing nations to more developed countries, whereby qualified and skilled manpower of such countries contribute to the socio-economic development of those countries, thus creating economic gaps in their respective countries. Also notes that over the years, there has been a significant outflow of highly educated professionals in Nigeria, especially in the academia, in quest of better working conditions, which has exacerbated skill gap in the workforce, capable of hindering economic growth and development of the country. Further notes from the National University Commission report that many Nigerian universities operate with less than 50% of the required academic staff. Aware that the remunerations of Nigerian university lecturers are among the poorest in the world. I repeat that the remunerations of the Nigerian university lecturers are among the poorest in the world, as it was last reviewed over 15 years ago. And this cannot meet the current economic realities of the country. Also aware that many universities in other West African countries have better working conditions than what is obtainable in the Nigerian university system, and this rather is worrisome. Worried that the continuous loss of experienced departmental faculty members from our ivory towers in other countries is capable of impacting negatively on the quality of education, thereby reducing the effectiveness of teaching and learning and mentorship for students in our higher institutions. Also worried that Brethren has assumed an unprecedented posture in recent times due to the current economic situation of the country. This should be a cause for concern as it threatens the survival of the country's higher education, particularly in the engineering, medicine, and sciences, which are critical for the socio-economic development of this country. Accordingly, resolves to, number one, mandate the Senate Committee on Tertiary Education and TEFON to liaise with the Ministry of Education with a view to working out modalities to check the increasing spate of brethren in the Nigerian universities. Two, urge the Federal Minister of Education to increase budgetary allocation to federal universities in the 2025 budget so as to take care of the teaching problems of Nigerian universities. As an addendum, is that the salaries and allowances of Nigerian university lecturers should be looked into, as already pointed out. There is an impending strike, and if nothing is done urgently, Mr. President, dear colleagues, the news will be that university lecturers are on strike again. Therefore, I would wish that this should not be a lone voice. My colleagues should add their voices because this is a national challenge. Let's do something reasonable and tangible to save Nigerian universities from total collapse. I so submit, Mr. President.
On issue of Japa or brain drain, there are a lot of benefits, and there are so many things that we find it difficult to stop. The world is a global village. We should count ourselves as being lucky for being able to produce graduates and academics that are sought over all the world. Of recent, I was in United States of America, and I was so happy to meet a lot of our children who are gainfully employed in many areas, especially in academic and medical field. And I'm happy for so many reasons. One aspect of it is that there's a greater inflow of diaspora fund into Nigerian economy. While Nigeria is losing a lot of outflow, there is succor in the fact that much fund is coming in from all our people working gainfully abroad. And we always want to say, too, that we have a lot of brilliant people. Our university system is churning out so many graduates with first class. There's no way our economic system of today can contain all the graduates who are turning out. So if we have an event or a leverage for them to travel abroad and be gainfully employed, I think we should be very sympathetic to that cause. And equally too, I want to say that as bad as it is, a lot of private universities are coming up, and they are helping the system. So while I support the motion has moved. At the same time, I want us to be very careful, not totally to discourage people from going abroad, but there should be a system of regulating it. I so submit, Mr. President.
Distinguished Senator Babangida.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, sitting as chair. I'm Senator Babangida Hussaini, representing Jigawa North.
Propose an amendment to prayer 2 that we should urge the federal government of Nigeria to increase budgetary allocations to the federal universities in the 2025 budget so as to take care of the teething problems of Nigerian universities. And he has also explained that the federal government, in this case, means the Senate, the National Assembly, and all relevant agencies, all together. Those in support of prayer, the amendment of prayer 2, as stated by the Deputy Senate President, that the federal government of Nigeria should increase budgetary allocations to universities to cater for the teaching problems experienced in the universities in order to stop the brain drain that is currently going on. Say aye. Don't again say nay. The ayes have it. Dr. Kaila, yes, we are now back to you.
The need to stem the issue of brain drain. On the other hand, I also have a feeling that we must also be mindful of the fact that most of the young men and women who have the qualifications, of course, to go abroad and earn a living, I think it's also a good idea because in the end, whatever they make abroad, if proper arrangement is put in place and properly articulated and formalized, the money coming in will help the economy. But the most important aspect of the motion, which I want to address my mind to, is the issue of our funding of education. I like to quote Nelson Mandela, who said, the most powerful weapon, and I quote, the most powerful weapon that you can use to change the world is education. If we don't invest in education, if we don't properly channel and prioritize the demands of a modern economy and then produce the required manpower to drive it, then we have not started. And I've been to several universities in Nigeria. The current situation is such that critical areas that will produce the required manpower for national development, science, engineering, medicine, are neglected. And you find courses that have very little relevance to the demands of a modern economy are also on the table on jam form, and our students are practically just ending up coming out of the university with qualifications that they cannot get employment. It is a fact that there are jobs in Nigeria, but the skills to get gainfully employed and gainfully engaged in those sectors. So the oil and gas is a very good example. Up till today, we have not been able to have up to 100% local content in the oil and gas industry because the skill set is not there. So my take on this, I don't want to preempt the work of the committee as envisaged in the prayer of the mover of the motion. But the fact remains that we have to have a deeper look at the condition of our national universities, especially federal universities. And the way to go about it is adequate funding and proper tracking and monitoring of spending of our national universities. I thank you, Mr. President, for the opportunity.
Thank you. Let me.
This prayer, if you look at it, is not something that is doable. But let me allow my brother to bring his own amendment. But to me, I would have suggested we remove this prayer because it's something that is very, very wide. Talk about the economic situation, talk about everything. It's not implementable. Now you say a ministry should find out how to stop you from going outside the country.
Yeah, I think we should even call on the Honourable Minister of Education to bring up proposals.
It's beyond that. It has to do with the Minister of Finance, of Economy, coordinator of the economy. It's something to do with the economy of the entire country.
Yes.
The president is doing very well, setting out the foundation to, create a sound economy in this country that will not allow someone even to go out.
Yes.
What he's doing now, giving him some time we'll have a situation that when you say, so go to Ghana or go to US, you say, no, I prefer to stay here because the economy will be fine. Now, telling the Minister of Education to create a means of allowing people, stopping from going outside, I think it's something that they cannot do. It's undoable. So I think we should take out this prayer. The second prayer is fine, but if you have something better, I will allow you to bring your own amendment.
Sir, do you want to amend the prayer?
As we are just a rubber stamp legislature, the power lies with you. They propose, and then we endorse.
So amend prayer 2.
Mayor, I wanted to suggest the second part of the amendment is that the prayer is limited in terms it's referring only to Nigerian universities. There's also brain drain in Polytechnic. There are some also research institutions that are not necessarily university that are also expressing brain drain. So
let's finish with the university first. What? Because the motion is actually on the universities.
Yeah.
And if you notice during the contributions, people also pointed out that this syndrome is also...
Take cannot Polytechnic as an example. It's a Polytechnic, but it runs degree programs because they are actually affiliated to the universities. So if you limit this focus only on the universities, invariably the Polytechnic that are associated with those universities will also be impacted. I'm just thinking that maybe we should just say tertiary education rather than just say universities. There are a number of colleges of education that run degree programs. They draw their manpower from the university that they are associated with. So it may be difficult to just isolate the university. I'm suggesting that we should rather make it tertiary education so that it can be broad enough. So when we are discussing this...
So what do you do? Because we are finished with the debate. What do you do is...
Of Nigeria to increase budgetary allocation to federal universities in the 2025 budget so as to take care of the teaching problems of Nigerian universities. I so move. When you say federal government, it includes the executive and the legislature all together. Federal government. I so move.
On this motion as framed and canvassed, and if I have the privilege of the leave of Mr. President, maybe I may wish to add a few points. Mr. President, I believe that the Senate, in substance, shares the side of opinion as contained in this motion. In bare terms, Mr. President, my dear colleagues, this motion contemplates the traffic outwards, what is fashionably referred to as Japa in our parts. We've grown up to be confronted with that scenario. I don't know how it was framed. Japa, we never used to hear about it in the past, but it has become a way of life in these parts, where we are losing the best to the outside space, to the outside world. No nation progresses without a firm commitment to education. Here in the state, we are all beneficiaries of the opportunities presented by education. And one way that we can create pathways to advancement in this country is for us to encourage the traffic to remain inward. But how do we do that? How do we discourage Japa even in our health care system? Because Nigeria is losing a lot due to the traffic outwards in our health sector. One way that this can be done is as framed in the motion, is by encouragement, by having the enabling environment by giving encouragement to our lecturers so that we can have quality in our educational system, so that we can encourage the best among us to remain and develop this country. So I have the persuasion of Akpabio South to throw my full weight behind this motion. I think it is quite timely, because as a country, we must explore trajectories where Japa can be discouraged, so that the best can remain with us and help to develop this country. I thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you.
I hope nothing, but this one is specific. The motion is specific. Here is a former lecturer.
Mr. President, the challenge is that
what is affecting the university system, and that if you look at the body of the motion, it said that some departments do now have up to 50% in terms of staff strength, and that will affect the output. It will affect the output. In other words, some of the graduates will maybe have baked as a result of lack of lecturers, and that he wants something urgently done to ensure that most of the professors and specialized teachers do not leave the university system. So
I
you
understand,
you can bring up what you have as an additional prayer.
the only challenge, Mr. President,
personal problem, and it is economic. And that is why I align with the DSP that we should be careful whatever we will get out of this chamber, because it has nothing to do with Ministry of Education. It has nothing to do with the Ministry of Health. Anybody that wants to go to America, nobody will stop him from going there. Anybody that wants to do brain drain, no law in Nigeria can stop him from doing so.
So what
the only way is the way the President of the Federal Republic started, trying to change the economy, streamline it such that brain drain, people will not even have the reason to go out. I think that is the key. We cannot stop anybody from going out.
What is your additional prayer then?
My additional prayer is, well, it is not additional prayer anyway, because I'm just trying to say we should be careful not to get certain things out of this place
Let me say,
accordingly resolved to mandate the relevant committees, including committees on education, finance, and health, to liaise with the relevant ministries with a view to working out modality to check the increasing speed of brain drain in our tertiary education system.
that's fantastic. Senator Dr. Kyla, prayer 1 has been amended to say that we should mandate the relevant committees of the Senate to liaise with the Honorable Minister of Finance, the Minister of Education, and other relevant ministries to immediately take steps to work out modalities to check the increasing speed of brain drain in our tertiary institutions. Those in support of this prayer as amended, say aye. Those against, say nay. Did I get it? DSP, did I get it right? Huh? Is that doable? Okay. Okay, so those in support of this undoable prayer, say aye. Those against, say nay.
Nay, nay.
The ayes have it. Now, Senator, let's take the second one before we come to Kyla. Urge the Federal Ministry of Education to increase budgetary allocation to federal universities in the 2025 budget so as to take care of the teething problems of Nigerian universities. This is another problem. The Federal Ministry of Education will have its envelope. Yeah? So I think, no, we don't just, they will tell you you are padding, you are padding the budget for university education.
No.
So I think
You have the powers there.
we should urge the federal government of Nigeria.
Mr.
We
President,
should urge the federal government of Nigeria, through the Ministry of Education and the national and
President, to ask the president to do this. The powers of the Constitution.
Audio Jungle.